Right then, Jack from the Lost Lore Scholar and I have done another tier list collaboration video. The other one's over on his channel, where we rank every single monster in the monster manual. This time, we are ranking every player character that we have DM'd for. Now, most of you obviously aren't going to know who these characters are, so just treat this as a podcasty video where we ramble on for 2 hours.
Daikan, right, the monk, the Tyranny of Dragons monk, the Edge
Wayne's
Lord,
character.
black and red. That's the color scheme he wanted to be.
We should tell people whose characters they are, so maybe they can build up a profile of the kind of people that we play with.
Yeah.
So this is Wayne's character, Daikan. So this character died.
Yeah, die. He can die. Daikan.
He can die. Daikan.
Exactly. He named his character appropriately. This is our Tyranny of Dragons campaign. This was Wayne's first character in it. He dived into a pool to save the next character on this list, the cleric, and he died.
Oh, just to be clear, the Tyranny of Dragons campaign, I DM. It's my one.
Yeah. So this is Jack's. So all of these first, what are they? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know. 10. We'll get to the point where we're changing campaigns. We'll mention. But anyway, so Daikan is a perfect example of the causer of the problem gets away scot-free, because he dived in to save the cleric who got himself into that position in the first place, and Daikan died with to be honest, not really a lot that could have saved him.
No.
Which was a little bit sad, because I honestly think Daikan was the best of his characters. Spoiler for the rest of these characters of his. That he did this campaign.
To be honest, to be fair to Daikan, he probably died at the right time, because he was about to drop off dramatically because of the way 5th edition works.
That's what we kept saying. We're like, don't worry, you're level 5. You were about to fall behind the rest of us anyway. But I kind of like Daikan. No, actually, there is one thing that massively drops him. So the player of this character,
I know exactly what you're going to say,
is somewhat inconsistent with his accents. That's fine, right? Doesn't matter. But
depends on the amount of beers.
In the dungeon that we were in, when he died, I think he was very drunk, and he kept it. Bear in mind, he was the stealthiest character in the group. He is the monk, the leather-wearing dexterity character. There's two things. The first one, he kept complaining because he thought he was the squishiest character. He had the highest AC. He had the same HP as my paladin, right? He had mobility, high initiative. He could attack 3 times at level 1 and was just slaughtering kobolds left, right, and center. And every session he would complain that he's the weakest character, and that he would get hit once and complain that he's being focused down, right? But the thing that really is going to put him down, not an F tier, but very bad, is the dungeon that we were in. He was very drunk, and we were trying to sneak around, and he kept memeing and being all loud and like shouting down the corridor, "Hey guys, what's going on down there?" Like really, like deliberately trying to ruin the stealth. And I kept saying to him, I
don't think it was deliberate. I think he's just an idiot.
I kept saying to him though, like, you've never done this before. This has never been how Daikan acts. You're supposed to be sneaky. You're meant to be stealthy. I had to explain it to him in character too, and we literally had to hold him back from destroying. Yeah, we'll put him in there for now because he could go down.
We'll see where we end up when the list starts taking shape. Yeah.
Mechanically, he was good. The player is very much into his martial arts, so
yeah. No, honestly, other than that one session where he was just absolutely piss blind drunk, he played this character fine.
And after every single session, when Jack would leave and we'd be in the core for 2 hours, I'd have to explain to him that he is not the weakest character.
Okay, look, let's move on from this, because you're going to complain all night. The next character you might also complain about, the cleric, the monk
Raiden
saved, only for the cleric to then die later.
Raiden is the perfect example of the player of this character. Baby DM.
Yeah, been on the stream a few times.
Raiden is the epitome of that guy's, like, the way he thinks, because he gets really into the character. He had a connection with my character in the campaign. He was like the bodyguard. He was really good at the role play. He was a very useful character to have around. Absolutely, it worked perfectly until the session where he died. And he died because he decided, this is so funny, I'm dying, I'm not going to try and save myself. He ended up getting trapped in a black pudding, his
And then
armor
killed
was
by a dragon.
disintegrating, and he was sat there going, oh yes, this is so funny, I'm so glad my armor's melting. And then he dies, and he was making his new character.
I want to be clear to the people that watch your channel. When you say that, oh, he's so happy, this is so funny, he wasn't being sarcastic. He's a masochist.
No, he is, and he was making his new character before this one was dead. It's the moment he got stuck in the black pudding, he literally said to me after the session, I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I was like trapped in that thing, I was just on Hero Forge making my other character.
That is so him. I will say I liked Raiden.
I liked Raiden.
It's the same issue with all of Baby DM's characters, though, in that he has great concept, and then he kind of just doesn't quite know how to follow through.
What I say with him, like, all his characters, he's not C tier. He is an A to a B tier player.
Yeah.
Until he has a D tier moment and dies.
Well, if he's not, I would put him very low C, Raiden. Because
I wouldn't put him below Daikan. He was much better than Daikan.
The reason I put him below Daikan is because, unlike Daikan, Raiden himself was, to be fair, and this is not a fault of the player, he was an afterthought character because he came in late.
True, but at the same time, other than the one character he's currently playing now,
I would say these guys are quite similar. So maybe
Raiden was less of a detriment to the group.
That doesn't make him B. That makes him C.
Okay, we put him high C is fine.
High C. Hogan is now an NPC F tier.
He's a useful NPC. But the one time he was actually played by the player, he was utterly useless.
Apologies if you're watching this. We literally said, don't make a meme, and then you make Hulk Hogan, and then not a day after you make this character, the actual Hulk Hogan dies.
Yeah, that's why he's F tier. This guy was
That's why he's F tier.
From the beginning.
Yeah. We're going to move on because he's now an NPC. Whistler, B tier.
I wouldn't put Whistler.
No. Whistler was the same character as Hogan, and he had a consistent, like, gruff American West cowboy accent. When he was paying attention, he did really well, and when he was role playing, he did really well. He had his dog, he was a ranger, he had his dragon, same guy that played Hogan.
That's true.
But he did like for the first sort of 6 to 8 months of the campaign, Whistler was very good. If he'd have continued consistently like that, I would actually put him in A tier. I liked Whistler as a character, as a concept.
He was
the hip. Unfortunately, he didn't pay attention, and I got very fed up of him not paying attention. And then I said, "Oh, you're giving me a perception check with disadvantage." And the player said, "No, I've got a dog. I get advantage on these." And I say, "You're not paying attention. Therefore, your character's not paying attention." Failed the perception check, and then I nuked him with 2 dragons. Not technically true. It was actually my wife's actions that led to his death. I wasn't going to see you all dead. But he effed around and he found out. And that was the end of Whistler. Phyrra.
Phyrra is probably
Drow Rogue.
Kai's second best character.
I would say better than Whistler.
I mean, Phyrra has been
this is Baby DM again.
And to be honest, this is the one character, the only character I would say, where the player has not tried to be suicidal.
Yes, but he's also got a really interesting story that is his own with this character that has developed.
Yeah,
that is also
a
linked
prime
to
example that he is capable of making good, serious characters, getting into character and actually enjoying the character and not trying to die. Though at the same time, we have to clarify. I'm pretty sure Kai has said many times that if you kill Fire off, he's not going to be mad.
I mean, people watching this might go, well, good, that's a good thing he's not going to be upset if you kill his character. Except it means he's kind of not too invested, which is that's why it's B tier, high B tier, and not an A tier, because Kai is too willing to throw his life away.
Yeah, I mean, when you gave him the cursed daggers, the fangs of Lolth, obviously it's a good thing because Kai was like, I want to roll with this and see where it goes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you were to just completely and utterly fuck him over with them, he wouldn't mind.
But so here's what I did with the cursed daggers, right? They are, and I was actually speaking to famous YouTuber Runesmith about this, and he said, geez, those are powerful. I said, yeah. And the reason for that is because the character, the player, is such a masochist. This is the guy who wants his vanilla spells to be nerfed because he thinks they're too powerful. I wanted him to have something really bloody strong so that he had no choice but to be strong. And then he had to sort of think around how that was affecting his character. And in all honesty, it has made him think twice about how he uses these weapons. Because they have a lot of burst damage.
Here's the thing. Last time I spoke to Kai, he did say, Jack, you keep getting his poisons wrong. You keep getting them mixed up. I don't know what he meant, but apparently it's your fault, Jack.
I don't think I do, but all right. I wrote the item. I think I know what it does.
No, you don't.
I think the next character on the list, S tier.
No, hang on. Is Hannah in the room with you yet? It was just bias.
No, Hannah's not in the room. This is my wife's character. It's not.
You can't see even the tier list doesn't agree. Honestly, I think
Faer'frae is great.
I think S tier, A tier or S tier because the character Hannah is Hannah's best character because it's the one she's always wanted to play.
Yeah.
Gets into character more with this character than any other character.
By the way, in case the Drow fighter, we should probably tell people what these characters are.
Oh yeah, true. Actually, yeah, the last Phyrra was a Drow rogue.
Yeah.
But this one's a Drow fighter disguised as a not Drow.
Yeah, so his actual token is this, but he's always got a ring of disguise on, which always makes him look just like a wood elf or a normal surface elf.
He wields a frost brand, he's a dexterity-based fighter, all that type of thing.
But he trained Phyrra in swordsmanship.
He's the party, he should be the party leader. But unfortunately, it keeps falling to me.
Well, I don't know about that because the way that the campaign is developed, because Faer'frae and Sorkara are the only two characters left of the original group, they formed a kind of a strong bond. And Faer'frae is willing to allow Sorkara to be her outgoing, bubbly self. He has basically taken Connor's role from your stories.
Yeah, I mean that would have been Raiden, but unfortunately he
died. To a black dragon and black puddings. That was funny. I think
Faer'frae is very good.
Lots of characterful moments. Played very well, very tactically. Doesn't stand in the wrong place, which brings me on to Milo the Mindbender.
Milo. See, this guy is a psychic sorcerer, but the meme is that he's really dumb.
Yeah.
And not very wise.
The funny thing is, the interesting things about Milo is he's not terrible.
He's useful only because he is the only ranged caster in the group in a game about dragons.
I will say this is Daikan's replacement. This is Daikan's player coming back in as a halfling aberrant mind sorcerer. And I will say, yes, he's carried by the fact that he's the ranged caster. But there are things going on with Milo that I'm not sure the player quite gets, but he is actually playing into that. It's kind of behind the scenes a little bit. So I don't want to spoil it. That he is actually playing into. And the thing with this player, with Wayne, is no matter what I do to his characters, he goes a bit, crap, that's a shame. But he's not like Kane that he welcomes it. He does have a survival instinct. But he's also not going to get butthurt. He doesn't... Look, his survival instinct is wrong, but he has one. Okay. And he doesn't get butthurt when bad things happen to him. And a lot of bad shit happens to Wayne.
Yeah, but that's he's along for the ride. I think he does look up builds. He does look up his character. He just doesn't understand the rules. He's been playing for 5 years. 5 years, by the way.
5 years.
Start running meme every time because this whole group, both of our groups, have been playing basically for 5 years at this point. Other than Baby DM, that's why we call him Baby DM. And anytime they just, how does flanking work? How does this work? What does this do? 5 years, by the way. 5 years.
5 years.
5 fucking years.
Where's perception on my character sheet? 5 years.
And that is very much this character, this player. He does not understand the basic rules of D&D.
And which is funny because he's one of the only people that has actually purchased for himself and read the book.
And he reads up his characters online. He's looking up abilities. He's I know that at level 9 I get this ability, at level 10 I get this ability. And he's like, yeah, but you don't know how like initiative works. Like,
I love him. I love him so much. I hope he never changes.
It's funny.
We call him Granddad.
Yes, he's old.
He's not even that old. I honestly think Milo is slightly better than C. Very low B.
I don't know. I suppose he's survived long enough, even though he's walked into shambling mounds.
But look at the token that you created for him. He looks awesome, and he gets points based on that.
He's got a robe of stars. That's true. He'll never use. Slizglag was the gnome that was Kai, the baby DM.
Yeah, it's not a goblin. I know it looks like a goblin.
We thought it was a goblin, so I attacked him outright, thinking, this guy looks ugly. He's probably evil.
Hold on, we need to take a step back. This is the character that replaced Raiden the Cleric over here in C.
Yep. And then it became Slizglag, the Opulent, I think he was called.
Yes, he was, yeah.
And he was a little thief, he was a brown gnome.
He was an evil gnome.
And then he betrayed us. Every time we tried to gather information, he would like silence the cultists.
But he did it in front of you. He didn't. I don't understand. When he came to me with the idea for this character, and you know me, Brass, I like to make sure my group is at the very least neutral. They're not allowed to be evil. But I liked the idea of what he wanted to try so much. I was willing to give him the benefit, and I gave him a ring of mind shielding for this character, so that when you did your divine sense on him, or that you wouldn't immediately twig the fact that he was evil. Do you want to tell us how you killed this character?
So he was interrupting my interrogations. We found out there was the cult of the dragon in Waterdeep, and as I was about to press, he actually there's 2 times this happened. The first time was fucking hilarious because he tried to execute the guy I was interrogating, but he kept missing the attack roll, even though the guy was just like kneeling and like bound, but he just kept missing. And then the NPC I was interrogating goes, "Can I just fight this guy?" And I go, "You know what? Yeah, just fight each other." And he wins and nearly kills the gnome. And I think, you know what? I'll save him. I'm a good paladin, so I saved his life. Then we interrogate someone else a few sessions later, and he does it again. This time actually kills him. And so I bind the guy to a tree, and we have this gem, which if an evil character lays hold of it, deals an average of like 65 damage.
10d6, 10d10 plus 10. It's actually a callback to a magical item you made with another character in another campaign we'll get to.
We'll get to that when we get to him. But yeah, this gem disintegrates you if you're evil. So I went, right, if you want to prove your innocence, hold this gem. So he holds the gem.
He was mid-level up.
Yeah, he was middle of leveling up, held the gem, gone.
Just ash. But they still have him around technically because his soul is inside the ring of mind shielding that your character is carrying around now.
I did show it to the wizards and nothing was really done yet, so we don't know what's going on with that.
Very funny.
Pipwick's an FD.
I don't think FD.
I think because to be fair, he was getting into the character. He enjoyed the character.
I liked Pipwick.
He was obviously a meme.
This is
the player even admitted it was a meme.
We need to again. Whistler was the human ranger. After he died, he brought in a grung wizard.
A grung, yeah. These are these tiny little frog dudes. Now he likes frogs, and he did get into character, and he did role play the character, but it was a meme. He role played it well as a meme, but it was a meme, and then he got squashed by a stone giant.
You could have saved him. Two of you could have saved him.
I could have, but it was more important to attack the hag than save him. Because again, we'd known this guy for 2 sessions, and we'd just come off of Slizglag. So any small little weird creature that's following us around, we had Zud as well at the beginning. is sus. So we're just...
Whatever happened to Zud? I don't actually
He
know
just
what I did
disappeared.
with
He
him.
needs to come back. He needs to make a comeback.
Yeah, probably is the BBEG.
He never died.
Honestly, I realize this is your OC. This is your baby.
Yes.
Honestly, I do think she goes up here. I'm not just saying that to be biased because you mate.
Well, this is good because I thought you'd fucking hate the... Because this character, right? This is my oldest OC. This is my World of Warcraft character. And also, I've been writing books about this character and all that type of thing, and I've always wanted to play this character in D&D. She is over the top. Any grognard watching this would absolutely despise this character because she is kind of over the top. She is kind of millennial, but the idea is, yes, she's that 5'2" very strong girl, but she takes things seriously when it needs to. Right, that's the thing.
She's a ditz, but what I've always loved about this character is she's a bit of a bimbo ditz right up until the rubber meets the tarmac, and her battle IQ is incredible.
Yeah, like she is a princess, right? She's been pampered and lived a very royal princessy life, and most of her experience adventuring is through reading books about adventuring, reading novels. So she's very much living in her own fantasy land within a fantasy land. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, she trained extremely hard to become a warrior, to become a paladin. Mm-hmm. She's an Aasimar, so she's naturally gifted with the radiance and things like that. And when, like, at early levels, she was getting bodied by the average cultist. Miss all the time.
Yeah.
Level 5 onwards. My rolls, this is when we had to record my rolls, and it turned out 77% of them were below a 10.
We're not exaggerating. We did the maths. That's the actual result.
It was actually getting tedious. But by the time she got to level 5 and got multi-attack and got proficiency bonus increases and all that, and now she is...
Now she's got a magic sword.
She's very strong, and it's at a point I'm not worried about my character not being strong enough for this Death Knight you've got coming up. I'm worried about my group not being strong enough because I'm worried that I've become the Stavrak, who we'll get into when we're talking about. I'm the character that's so much more powerful than everyone else that the villains are tuned to me, and the other players are not going to have a chance.
This particular Death Knight is your foil, but I've said that for months at this point, long before you were this powerful.
But anyway, how would you explain that she's an S tier?
I would explain she was an S tier because you play her so well. You know this character inside and out. There is no way that you can't play this character well. True. The only thing perhaps that I would criticize about her is that you hold her back when you are quite obviously the instigator of my group. And I kind of need you to instigate with the
That's because, again, I'm worried that the rest of the group won't keep up.
Well, Faer'frae does, and that's all that matters at the moment.
Fair enough.
Right, that's it. That is the Tyranny of Dragons.
The current campaign that we're currently playing now.
My current campaign. This is the second campaign I ever ran for this group out of 4. Going in. This is Bravo Company. This is the meme campaign now.
Yep.
And we've got the original Wynn.
The original Wynn. No one's going to know what that means because we haven't got to the other.
Yeah,
Wynn
yeah,
yet.
but they will eventually.
Vixen A character.
Yeah, he was a charismatic ranger. He was not built. He was not
build
built
was
well,
terrible,
but he was fun.
Yeah, he was a cowboy.
I'm gonna say probably there.
Yeah, I think so.
Middle of C, middle of the road.
It was an experiment of a character, and the ray of frost kept missing. But then again, her rolls are not good.
Her rolls are only a little bit better than yours.
on the other Win that she played, where she was never missing.
Yeah.
No, she always rolls a 1.
So the next one is a Tabaxi bard called Curly Milk Snout, played by Shan, who actually did the art for him and has done lots of art for me. I really like Curly.
This character was a massive meme, but it was in a massive meme campaign.
It was the star of the show, too. So, I would actually go ahead and maybe bottom of S tier? A tier?
No. She's not better than Phyrra. Actually...
No, in terms of the impact on the campaign, mate.
To be fair, right, look, the character, not necessarily better than Phyrra, but the player, because she does music and singing and
She
art,
played the hell out of this
she
character,
played
man.
that character exactly how it's meant to be. I put 8 here.
She actually did the musician
'Cause,
stuff.
like,
She was
the character
singing.
was obviously very silly
Oh yeah, but that was kind of the point.
and a little bit immersion breaking. But
There was no immersion in that campaign.
there was a lot, to be honest. You know,
I think I will settle for high A. I would personally put Curly at a very low S. I liked that character a lot. Kane, however, is just this is another one of Wayne's.
Wayne's warlock that got his fingers eaten.
Yeah, he really likes warlocks.
Yeah, I don't know, because I'd say put him in C tier because
I'd put him with Daikan.
I remember he played warlock all right because all he had to do was spam
Daikan.
Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, but below Daikan, I would say.
That was it.
Yeah,
That's all he ever did. Thorn, the druid.
I liked Thorn a lot. It's just I don't. This was one of my friend's characters, but it was his first character, and I warned him that druid is quite complicated, and he went for it anyway, and he gave it the old college try, and it wasn't terrible. Wasn't terrible at all, and this is when he still had energy. I'd probably say just above Kane.
He hated combat. He wasn't. I don't remember him being terrible, to be honest. So yeah, I think C is.
Yeah, it was the first character, so maybe he had that kind of new character, like new game energy. Like, I've not done this before. Let's see what is possible.
Agreed.
Your character Tirnaal,
the dragon
gold
sorcerer.
Yeah, gold dragon.
He had a good backstory, and there was going to be good shit in the desert. He did become a meme because it was a meme campaign. It's very difficult to be the straight man in a meme campaign.
I would say you're probably up there with Curly. I'm going to put you below only because Tirnaal had staying power as an NPC in the campaign you did, but he wasn't the star of the show for what we did. I like Tirnaal a lot, but I think Curly stole the show.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Your brother's monk.
Yeah,
he was there for one session.
He just my time has come, and he slaughtered half the dragon army.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put him in bottom of C because I only got him for like a second, and he was just the entire thing was a meme. Junior, this is another one of Sean's. I did not like Junior. I liked the memes and comics that Shan made about Junior, but Junior himself was a paladin fighter warlock thing, but he was a zombie, like Frankenstein's monster. He came in late. He was a meme.
He was in the meme campaign, so I'm not going to take the meme away from him.
But he didn't really do much.
He wasn't there long. He was only there for.
I'm going to put him. You know what? I'm going to say worse than Pipwick. I think worse than Pipwick. Pipwick was played a lot better with a lot more consistency. Yeah, but this is when he was traveling a lot.
That's true.
So I will say that I didn't like Junior at all.
Sorry, I barely remember Junior. I remember his Sir Whitnail, which is.
Well, that's the point. We don't actually have a proper token for him. This is taken from a bigger artwork, which you can flash on screen if you want.
Oh, I will. Yeah.
Yeah. That's Bravo Company.
Yeah.
I think.
And now we go into
Varfal
campaign. Jack's best campaign, but also
a bittersweet campaign.
The turning point campaign.
This is what made me enter my my dark DM days.
It made him. This campaign had it was a good campaign, very good ending, but had such a disastrous moment in it several times.
It broke me.
Even to this day, sometimes I feel like Jack is taking out the frustration from that moment on his player characters now in Tirnaal Dragons.
We'll get to that. We'll tell you what. We'll do that story now. We'll bring these two. We'll bring Myrdin and Karzag together. Now, I like both of these characters. Karzag was a dwarf fighter. In fact, you can go and if you flash up my video of kill the memes, I talk about Karzag in that because he had a very noble death. And Myrdin was Wayne's character. So Karzag was played by a guy called Charlie, a real-life blacksmith, really lovely bloke. And Wayne himself, we've already said that he struggles with understanding things. But the idea of this campaign is they were working for the King of the Westlings kind of spy circuit called the Songbirds, and the entire premise was that they were reporting to one of the spy masters of the king, and everything that they were reported back, the king would obviously know, right? So much so that I told them, the king knows. But these two just didn't understand and said, we need to go and tell the king that the BBEG wants to steal the magical artifact the king is wearing. And I think it was 3 or 4 times, correct me if I'm wrong, that I said outright, don't worry, the king knows.
Mm.
And and it's like, all right, you know what? Fine. You want to go to the castle? We'll go to the fucking castle. And they went into the throne room, which they should never have been able to do. But at that point, I was so exasperated. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. They went in. They pissed off the king's advisor. They pissed off the king.
They royally angered everyone in the court.
Because they came, we know what they're going to plan as the city they're in is being besieged by the BBEG. And the king just sits there and goes, I know.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It's obvious.
And this is what broke me. Because a lot of effort went into this campaign. An awful lot of effort. Still my best work as a dungeon master. I maintain that.
I think, 100%.
But that broke me for a long time. And then lots of characters died for a long while afterwards. That's why Tyranny of Dragons had so many characters, and it took us like 20 minutes to get through because so many people died.
Yeah.
But let's get on to actually ranking. Karzag, I would put sort of maybe just above Daikan. The reason I say that is it was the same issue with Thorn. He wanted to be a fighter artificer. He wanted to be a pure artificer. But I said, look, I don't mind you taking a level in artificer, but you have to have at least 2 in fighter first. Because you're a new player, artificer's very complicated, and it's a good job we did.
And this was a very Lord of the Rings setting campaign.
Mythological. And I was like, if you're going to do artificer, it's got to be very magical blacksmithing rather than clockwork inventions. Which was, to be fair, he did try and stick with, but I don't like artificers. That also hurts Karzag. Otherwise, I would put him up more because I did like the story that happened around him.
Yep.
But yeah, Karzag died in the last fight, doubly so because his soul was destroyed. Myrdin?
I think Myrdin, at some points in the campaign, was Wayne's best character. Because he did get into character. The problem is especially towards the end, he had so many moments of just not paying attention. The BBEG was this character's sister.
Yes.
She shows up,
he
does this whole thing, and he fucking blanked.
He just forgot completely, which is amazing because the first... I did a separate session 0 for the groups of players that I had. Wayne was the only character that had a session 0 on their own because I did a big adventure sequence for him where he was chasing the BBEG into the country because he felt responsible for his sister. And there was this big thing where she stabbed him with the sword, and that's how he got his powers, warlock powers, because the gods literally saved him and chose him to go and stop his sister.
Yep. And he failed.
And he failed. He died at the end.
He died. I mean, to be fair, he was one of the last ones standing.
Yeah,
and that's because he sat in the corner, spamming Eldritch Blast.
I punished him. I liked Myrdin. I think Wayne did a good job of role playing.
Above Milo, I think.
With the secret pocket that he wanted, and that he was paying attention to how he presented himself as a noble as well. Yeah. He role played him well. It's just he was let down by the fact that he forgot the most important thing about the character.
But yeah, I think this is his best. I think he is. Milo can be good, but I think he put a lot more time into Myrdin as a character. Milo as a character he's just kind of he's a tag along.
Can I be honest about Brulgir? I like Brulgir. Not your best work.
No, actually, is the thing. Brulgir, right? had a lot of things he was going to do, didn't have time to do them. There was a lot of things, like for example, he was going to forge diamond rings using his abilities and like duplicate them and sell them and all that type of thing, make a load of gold, do all these other things. But because of the size of the group,
7 players.
he just every time we were in the city, it was I go to the blacksmith, I get 10 minutes of roleplay, and then it's on to the other 7 players.
Yeah. Unfortunate that was. Now we run much smaller groups.
Yeah.
But I think Brulgir himself, I like, very strong character. The forging of the rings and the sapphire was very good. This was a campaign where you were decidedly not in a leadership role.
Thank God.
And I think that kind of hurts you as a player because you are an instigator. You are someone that will go and interact with the content without me specifically pushing you towards something. I think Brulgir is probably a very high B, definitely above Phyrra. I don't think he quite scrapes
Tirnaal
A.
above him. I don't know.
Yeah, I would. Tirnaal, you got to, in the context of the campaign, Tirnaal was very much a mainstay, and then also carried on through to have massive impacts in the Thaydor Isles campaign that you ran as an NPC. So Brulgir himself, his only other show up was in his tomb in Thaydor in my current campaign.
True.
I think Brulgir was a good character. I don't think he quite scrapes the A. But if you disagree with me, you can feel free to tell me.
No, because at the end of the day, you're better off ranking my characters. I'll rank yours.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think B's fine. B for Brulgir. Because he had potential, but he couldn't actually fucking do anything with it. Most of that campaign.
This next character, Kitty, is another one of my wife's characters.
I think she was very
rogue.
good. Very good character.
I was going to say, does she scrape the S or is she just high A?
I'd say A, maybe S. Because I don't know. Because at the end of the day, if we're arguing, she played the character well. Mechanically, roleplay wise, she did very well.
She was quite tactical with combat. She saved people's lives at points.
I think she was playing her role very, very well, which was a shame because the next character on this list.
Yeah, let it down.
I'd say top of A.
Top of A. I'm happy with that. I liked Kitty an awful lot. I think Vix did an incredibly good job as Kitty.
Yeah.
Again, art by Shan. There's a lot of on here that have art by Shan. Catkin started really strong.
D.
I think Catkin was really good in roleplay situations, but the player
for the first half of the campaign.
But the player that, you know what, I think Catkin might actually go below Pipwick.
Because this character was started off as, her and Kitty,
yeah,
right, the rogue we just ranked then,
also rogue,
were partners in crime, basically.
Yep.
So they were meant to be together. They were meant to be like, basically going on heists together.
They did do heists. They did sessions without you guys.
They did a lot of that, and so they were. I remember even some of the Drea when we were in the city and they're having the role play and they're like stealing paintings from the cart. Very, very good stuff. But it was very much the player doesn't like combat, like we said with his druid.
Yep.
Hates combat.
Yep.
Every single combat encounter, he was a liability because he'd sit in the corner and hide and do nothing.
I will also say, unfortunately for Catkin, the player, I completely understand this, was just dead tired the entire time. One of the reasons he stopped playing was he couldn't keep his eyes open.
This was going on at the same time as one of my campaigns as well, and when we get to that character, the same exact problem.
We'll have to talk about the what do you mean you're not level 7?
Oh yeah.
I think middle of D, unfortunately, because it started so strong. She was fantastic for the first sort of 3 or 4 months, and then fell off. And I don't blame him at all for it, because as I say, he was dead fucking tired from work. But hiding during combat and not taking part in stuff like that is, sadly, he actually made a journal in the first few months of the sessions where he was basically scrapbooking the campaign and the character's thoughts on things. And he showed me it was a physical thing. It was really cool.
I love it when they do that.
And then work just killed the man.
Yeah, it is a shame.
So this is not a judgment on him at all. It's just there was so much potential for this character, and unfortunately, it did die with her because she died in the final fight.
True.
Aren Thundersmith.
I think
Honestly, I am tempted to go bottom of S.
Maybe the only thing I would think keeps him out of S is the player was okay at understanding the class, but
This
not
is
really.
Curly's player, by the way.
Yeah. She did the
half elf
art.
paladin.
She
Half
did
elf
the
paladin.
art for that character and a lot of the
Yep.
other characters.
Yep.
She was the local artist and musician, very good to have around.
Yep.
I don't know if she knew how to play the class.
She didn't do too badly. There was one time where I had to sort of give a blanket statement of read your class again, guys, halfway through the campaign.
Because I find the thing about Aren, I remember she shone quite a lot in certain roleplay moments.
Yes.
But I barely remember her doing anything in combat.
She was quite consistent in combat. That's probably why you don't remember. But the thing with Aren is I remember him dying in the last fight, his soul being trapped in the cursed sword of the BBEG, and then the lair actions kicking in, you guys winning the dice battle, rolling on the table and respawning him for a round. That moment,
yeah, that was good.
It was pretty cool, which elevates him. Thinking about it, I don't think Aren was quite as good as Kitty.
No, yeah, I think mid A is pretty good.
Yeah, I think they're very
She's a
similar.
consistent A tier player.
Oh yeah, Shan was brilliant.
Very good.
It's just, again, life happens, people get busy.
Life, memes, forgetting. Right,
Speaking
Shaemus.
of memes,
Shaemus is a weird one.
Dwarf barbarian fighter.
I know you really liked him, and I think it is Sean's second best character. Because he was a good character, and I think he probably goes in top of B above Brulgir.
You think he's better than Brulgir?
I mean, I don't think he's better than Brulgir, but
I
would have put Brulgir in A.
I was going to put him just above Whistler.
That's fine. That's absolutely fair. Because the thing about Shaemus is Sean got really into character with this guy.
Yep. It suited him.
It suited him extremely well. He played the character extremely well, but he didn't fit the theme.
Not quite. No.
He was very noir detective with brass knuckles.
Yeah.
New York gangster type of guy in a Lord of the Rings style setting, and he was grappling chimeras out of the sky, which was an awesome moment in combat, but it was also very
flash up the art that Shan did at that moment. If you haven't got it, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
I think the problem with Brulgir is I tried my best to make him fit, and he didn't do too bad of a job of fitting.
Shaemus, you mean?
Yeah, sorry. This happened in the campaign too. I constantly get confused between the dwarves.
All the free dwarves, yeah.
But the fact that there were so many dwarves in the party meant that they could all play off each other really quite well.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that.
But he was the
really
least dwarf. Brulgir and
that was the cool
Karzag
thing.
had good moments. He was not really a dwarf.
He was going to become. There was going to be a story later on where he was going to have an opportunity to become an honorary mountain dwarf again. Because in my universe, you've got city dwarves and you've got mountain dwarves, where dwarves in the city kind of lose their connection to the honor system of their clan systems. And Brulgir himself, I did it again, and Shaemus himself was actually an ex-con. So he had lost all his honor. I was going to try and have what does it mean to get back in touch with your dwarfiness with him? He actually survived the campaign too, so it could have happened, but unfortunately not.
His story was good, but yeah, it was the theme of the character.
He let down by that, but played well. Well done.
Played well, yeah.
Same player, different campaign now. So that's the end of Varfal.
This is the first campaign.
We've got a very mid-range stack.
That happens. That's every tier list.
Yeah,
you always get a load in B and C. Right. So
Isabel.
Mama.
Well, no, her Isabel de la Velatina Constantina the 16th or whatever it was. Big Momma.
Now, this character,
halfling wizard.
I remember. I didn't know she was a halfling. I thought she was an old lady.
Halfling wizard.
This character I remember probably the best out of any of the original characters.
This was the first, so just context for this. This is the Reprobates campaign. You can flash the Reprobates image up on screen if you like. This is the first. COVID hit. I was furloughed for a month from work, And so I said, guys, do you want to play D&D? I hadn't played in maybe 5-6 years. I was like, look, I'll run 5th edition for you. And this was my first introduction to 5th edition, really, as well.
Yeah, and
so this is where this happened.
Now, she was a meme. She was a colossal meme. Very on brand for the player.
Oh,
but at the time, it didn't really matter because it was the first campaign. So we had a good mixture of serious and meme.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too bad because, again, we were all newbies. We didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
I think Big Momma is a...
I would say very bottom of
C, B. Yeah, B is good. That's what I was going to say. So, Talvor.
Excellent character.
I actually think this... Was it? I'd say put it next to Aren because I think Aren and Talvor were very similar. Talvor had a bit more of a gimmick because it was all grabby hands and touching people with layups. She was a cleric.
But you have to remember with Talvor is he had a lot of very grounded moments. Shan, and again, Shan did the art for him for this.
This is the perfect example of that meme where it's like your first character, serious character, proper fantasy name, fits the setting, and then 5th character, Curly.
Yeah. The thing is, Talvor, I would actually put in S. And here's my argument for why. Low S tier. The reason why is because, one, if you remember, what I told to you guys was very simple. It's going to be pretty much all everything goes campaign, but you have to have a connection to Harrowhaven. This is where Harrowhaven came from, man. This is where a staple town for both of us now.
Agreed.
And Talvor had a relationship, because he was a cleric, he had a relationship to the paladin protector of the town, something that I pinched from you, and the nun, and they were in a saucy lesbian relationship that Talvor had to put up with. And at one point, Talvor had to go. Talvor kind of became the leader of the group. I realized Varic was there, but Talvor was the sort of the moral guide. He took responsibility for letting the vampire Dragulia out. He took responsibility for trying to resurrect that paladin after she was killed. He went on a massive quest, if you remember, to find a diamond to bring back this. I think Talvor, to be honest, and also with the letter that I think Talvor, just because it was I think very low S.
I would accept S.
Scrapes S.
Yeah.
Very much barely scrapes an S. I think Talvor was some of the best. That's not trying to say that Shan went downhill from there. It's just to come out swinging with Talvor like she did was brilliant. Talvor was brilliant.
She was on the top of the game. I mean, this was during COVID, mind you, so she had...
we were doing 6-hour sessions every day for about a month. It was great.
We were all proper into it, and I think that's why most of these characters are going to be so high.
Yeah, we've got such a fond memory of this.
Other than Mildred I. I don't remember him.
So Mildred this is the same. Sean got bored of Big Momma, the halfling wizard, and came up with the first iteration of the dashing, swashbuckling bard, Mildred Drew Besparkle.
Yeah.
The first. And then the campaign shortly ended afterward because I had to go back to work. I was working 90-hour weeks at the time, so D&D kind of took a back seat. I'm putting him in bottom of F just because this was the flash in the pan. We saw him for 2 sessions. And he had no connection to anything, no time to develop. It's not a say on how Sean played him on this particular occasion. Fair enough?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't think Sean remembers this artwork exists.
Right,
Varic.
My character. Okay, this is my character, so you rank him.
Honestly, this guy, probably just below Talvor. And the reason for that, again, is you developed, and this is, he didn't start off as a goblin slayer.
No.
He developed an absolute and utter hatred of hobgoblins because that was the main foe of the campaign to start with, is they were defending Harrowhaven from an army of invading hobgoblins. And you were playing a paladin. You wanted to go greatsword, but you found a secret area that I put in the first dungeon. Very high roll to get. You found the Sword of the Sun, which is a long sword with a bit of fire damage to it, and you equipped that. And that was basically what is in the artwork that you could, do your thing with.
Yeah.
I think you played this character really well. You had a really cool idea for where he was going to go, or you wanted him to go. I'd actually started statting out that as well. Unfortunately, we'll never know. But I think, plus he had a massive mainstay in Thader Isles. So in your campaign as an NPC. Plus if you remember, the reason he got paired with Giraffenal, who isn't on this list because he was an NPC, is because we played a Neverwinter Nights RP server for a few weeks, and those two adventured together.
Oh yeah. Varic
So
and Giraffenal,
yeah, and that's kind of why they were paired up in your Thader Isles campaign. I think Varic is brilliant. It's a shame that he's dead.
Well, only in my version of the campaign.
Yeah, so I think Varic was a great first character. Well done.
Nice. Sable, I think, was a great first character.
My wife's first ever character. Honestly, again, this is quite easily. I've realized she didn't. This is not. So it's a half orc, not a barbarian, a fighter. The reason is that she wanted to say, look, she had this thing going on. Do you remember me chanting grubsh, grubsh, grubsh whenever she started killing things?
Yep.
She had a mechanic where she was fighting her inner orc, and she wanted to remain a fighter, but was continually being pulled toward barbarian. And the more she gave into that bloodlust, the more she was going to take levels in barbarian. She was a very good character. This is my wife's first foray into role-playing properly. Technically not her first character, but her first character that she stuck with for more than a session. I think Sable was a really good idea for a very new person to the game, and played very well. I think Sable goes up there. That's the 3 characters of that group that I would put up there as the S tier.
Yeah, I would. That's fine. I'd agree with that.
And you know what isn't S tier?
Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes the Ranger.
To be fair, to be honest, right, it was very on par. It's just like with Big Mama with Sean.
Yeah.
This was a stepping stone to the other characters.
Yeah.
Very, very much same personality. He kept missing all the time, so his Snake Eyes name was very apt.
Yeah. I think we probably put him down here in C somewhere. Because
C is yeah, put him there. That's fine.
Sorry, Wayne. Sorry, well, we will put him above the one-shot monk.
Yeah, well, that's a bit unfair.
Put him with Kane.
Kane was a better version of Snake.
Wayne, what we're telling you is you're very mid-tier.
Which is fair enough to him. Like, he doesn't,
Oh, we're on to your campaigns now.
We are, right, we're done with Jack's campaigns.
These are all the characters I've DM'd for over the last 5 years.
That's the characters he's DM'd for. Now on to the characters I've DM'd for. Starting
with Mildred.
We've kind of gone in like a backwards. Oh no, yeah, this is right order. Yeah, so this is Mildred II Besparkle the third.
The third. This is the third iteration.
This is the latest iteration.
Who's also dead.
One that very recently died after he went on a heist in the Wizards Guild and blew up.
Yeah, you made an entire video based on that.
Oh yeah. This is one of the first videos on my channel about player character deaths, and he's in the thumbnail because this was just literally like the day after he died. I think Mildred was at the first half of my campaign was Sean's best work.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
He was Shaemus but improved. The only thing that let him down wasn't necessarily Sean. It was the second arc, the one we're currently in, was a swamp hag fiend arc. This guy was very much a street urchin. He was a city criminal, but they were out in the forest, so he just didn't have the ability to shine, which is fair enough. That's my fault. But I would say Mildred is his A tier character. The only reason I want to put him S is because he dropped off in the end.
I don't think he's as. I think here just the middle of A.
I think so because he had a presence. We had this running gag. We were Mildred's Merry Men.
Yeah.
Even though, because no one disagreed with that. He came up with it and no one said no. So the group was named Mildred's Merry Men. I think Mildred was really good. It just kind of the second arc let him down.
Yeah,
partly my fault, partly his fault.
Otherwise,
he lost interest.
He is fallen out of love with 5th edition. So yeah. Like I said to our friend Dean of Untold Destiny, I would love to see Sean play Untold Destiny because I think he'd really like it.
I think he would.
I think it would really.
Because he was good running Mork. for
He was
us.
very good running
We only did it the once, but he likes that sort of game. He does.
I think he'd be very good at that. Wynn. Art
Wynn?
by Feifel.
But yeah, there we are. I'll put it on screen. Now Wynn Wynn's a shame because mechanically very sound. Worked well with your character. Roleplay wise, she had her quirks, but she was not better than Kitty.
I think kind of high B, to be honest.
I would say B.
Maybe
she was
here.
She was and I think this was true with some of the other characters Hannah's played about that same tier, because solid mechanically, she knows what she's doing in combat. She does have her moments in roleplay, but she never takes the seat. Like Kitty was very active.
Yeah.
And Faer'frae is very active as a roleplay. Some like this character, and I'd say with her barbarian she's currently playing, and some of the others, very much they're tagging a lot for now.
Like so, Wynn was basically made as a ranger, but she very much became my character's. She was the catalyst for my character's moral evolution.
Yeah, she worked really well as a partner to your character. She was difficult to write stories for at the time because she had the opposite problem to Mildred. Mildred was a street urchin in the very much like the first arc was very like city based. You were in town all the time and fighting bandits. She was a wilderness girl, but she was more of like an autumn ranger in a winter campaign.
Yeah, didn't.
If you know what I mean. So it was quite hard to fit her in. Your current character a bit easier, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
Yeah,
but that's the point. If you even got her current character on you.
No, you'll have to grab me Maeve quick. Yeah, go get Maeve quick.
Dear.
In the meantime, while you're grabbing Maeve, let me fill your airtime. Arthur Valens. One of my best, if I do say so myself.
Hey, you're not allowed to rank your own character.
I know, I've got to let you. This is my character in Chris's current campaign, who is retired. He had a bit of a moment.
I have uploaded Maeve. Yeah. I will take over from Arthur.
Go and take over from Arthur.
You ranked mine. I'm ranking
fair enough.
Arthur at first was an okay character. We were debating between this character and Jack's paladin. I would have preferred the paladin at the start, but I think Arthur fit absolutely perfectly in the street urchin, low level campaign that the first arc was. He worked really well with Mildred because the two of them were buddies in crime, like Kitty and Catkin, except they worked better. I think mechanically he was very good, going for the sort of Artemis Centrari fighter. I liked he was a bit difficult to. I mean, this was part of his character. He was very difficult to get along with in roleplay at first, and he had some of your Iflendil moments where he was kind of pushing above his station. The way he talked to certain NPCs and other characters. He was very respectful of the king, but he'd be going to the custodian like, well, we saved you, you owe us favors, what are you gonna do for me? That type of thing. And that's the sort of behavior that can get a character in big fucking trouble.
But that was him. That was his character.
But he was very good. He took the hag threat seriously in Act 2, but then he fucked off.
So
after an incident with the paladin, we'll get into with the paladin's next character anyway.
Yeah, we need to talk about the arc.
Yeah.
So the whole idea of Arthur was I wanted someone that would start off as a douchebag, asshole, murdering, thieving prat that didn't care who he hurted. England, good England. But this wasn't actually planned. I had Brass make an NPC for Arthur to kind of get the hots for later on. But completely unplanned. My wife made a red-haired ranger, and that was kind of, Arthur's...
That was Wynn, yep.
Yeah, Arthur's heart caught. And it was the relationship that he developed with the ranger, because he respected Wynn's decks, basically. And they started, copulating. And that then made Arthur open up more. He started getting more friendly with the paladin who's next. And he became a really honorable, I want to say, or had a very quickly developing sense of responsibility to the town, to the party. Because he was Mildred III's partner in crime, but he started drifting away, and there was this really interesting tension between Mildred, Arthur, and Ellis. because Arthur kind of found himself in the middle of, do I follow what I've always known, or do I become a hero? And he tried to become a hero, and in the end, he had to kill someone before they became the villain.
So here's my thoughts on it.
Yeah,
My
final mark, Arthur.
Arthur was, out of all the characters you played, had the most relationships with the other characters in the group. He was, even though you didn't want him to be the leader, he was the chain that linked the group together, because you had a relationship with a paladin, where he was kind of your polar opposite, but the two of you got along as warriors.
Became very good friends.
Him, you gave him the shield of your order when he finally got his arm, because he was missing an arm, gave him the shield. You were Mildred's partner in crime, part of your backstory. You busted him out of jail. That was the first session. You ended up in an actual relationship with Wynn. There wasn't as much with Hrothgar, the barbarian, but there could have been.
There was quite a bit with Alyssa.
Alyssa, there was actually a fair bit. There was that there at first, because Arthur was a magic-hating character, because his backstory is his teacher and the Valiants, which is the order of mercenaries he was a part of, got ambushed by a mage, a very powerful mage, and they got utterly routed. And because of that, Arthur's always been taught magic bad, and he's always if you see a caster, I'm killing them, I'm not hesitating, I'm killing them.
But also, Arthur was very much a by my own power kind of guy, to the point where he, just through sheer willpower, and I had to roll for this, rejected a god.
Yeah, he did that. He was the only one that rejected God. He was, again, non-magical. He had magical swords and like +1 armor and stuff. But they were tools. But at the end of the day, he was very much a fighter with own skill, and he had this counterbalance with the wizard, because she was all magic. He had kind of like a disrespect almost for magic users, but then a respect for her. And I think Arthur is your S tier character.
How high? Do you put it above Sorkara?
I don't know how I'd rank myself, but I would say above Faer'frae, because Arthur and Faer'frae are similar characters. Arthur was more fleshed out.
Right, I'm going to go ahead and put him in alphabetical order. And we can actually have someone in the comments below tell us what sounds more interesting to them.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine with me. Like Ellis is Baby DM's best character. This is his first character, and just like with we've got a lot of first characters in that S tier.
I would say here.
He took the game seriously. He memed a little bit at the start.
I told you.
He started off with a missing arm because he loves.
And a missing eye.
This was his red flag.
Missing arm, missing eye. We didn't know the extent of the problem yet.
We fit it into his backstory really well. He played the character so well, and not only that, he was a breath of fresh air with this character, because the method that he would roleplay with when he actually got into the swing of things was very different to what you would normally do, because you were normally the only real instigator in roleplay at all, the whole group. He comes along and he would do things that are like a complete curveball.
And he still does it, and it usually ends up with his death.
Like, he tried to attack the Inquisitor out of rage, which made sense.
Another red flag.
Because that Inquisitor is the guy who cut his arm off, who cut his eye out, because he tried defending his wife. And then when he found out, he found out his father had died to the hag, and he immediately just lashes out at the nearest guy, and it was the Inquisitor walking in. There was this cool moment where he was turning against Mildred, because Mildred was attacking his wife. Had turned into a hag, right? His wife was a cleric, kidnapped by the matron of Act 2, and turned into one of the hags of the coven. And he was desperately trying to save her. And so when Mildred and like Arthur or anyone else was like, yeah, we can just kill her, who cares? He would stand in the way, because he's like, no, we need to save her, even if it was unrealistic.
There was a really awesome moment where you had his wife turn up in the camp as a hag, and to be all like, hey, I'm the BBG, hey. And he just went up and hugged her. And I don't think you expected that.
Well, yeah, because she turned up not like to she wasn't there to attack the group. I know Wynn shot her, and Wynn nearly got one shot by her at the time. But yeah, he went up and hugged, and I made him have a roll, and it actually broke her out of her curse for like the briefest moment. And that was a really good moment. And like he ended up dying because he got so desperate towards the end. As we were approaching the confrontation with his wife, right, they were marching out of town to go and confront Alice the Witherer, and he was getting very desperate, and the matron turned up along the road, ambushed the party. He got brought down to 0 because he charged her. Right, this BBG, he just went straight forward and he landed a blow. Bear in mind, this matron's BBG had a mechanic where it's very difficult to hit her because you've got to pass several checks before you're even allowed to swing. It works kind of like a buffed up sanctuary.
Only 2 people have ever damaged her.
The two paladins. So he left a mark, but he was brought down, and when he was down, she went into his mind and offered him a deal. And if I remember rightly, it was something like he had to kill Wynn, I think, because she wanted Wynn as the new Witherer. She was like, I will give you your wife back, but I need a replacement for your wife in my coven. Wynn is the best choice. So kill Wynn, and I will give you your wife back. And he, I kind of saw it coming because we had talked about it before, but in order to save that party member, he's like, I don't want to kill my friends. I will offer you something else. I will offer you the town.
The only town in the swamp.
And the deal was going to be that he would lower the barrier that was protecting the town, kill the high cleric that maintains the barrier, let the matron in, and she would return his wife. Now, we never got to this point, but obviously because it's a hag, it would be a hag's deal, and the wife would have been returned as a mindless zombie. But we never got to that because
Mildred,
out of it, the players realized there was something off about him. Mildred comes along, one of his best moments ever.
Probably the best moment ever.
And he goes, oh, mate, here's a healing potion. Ellis goes, thank you, drinks the healing potion. And Mildred goes, that was a truth serum.
No, his exact words were psych, truth serum.
Yep.
And he held on to it for 3 or 4 sessions.
He drank that, and then they questioned him. Then it was Alyssa the mage, who's coming up next, who asked like the more, pressing question, because they weren't getting a lot out of him. He was able to avoid a lot of the questions. Alyssa comes in, asks him a yes and no question. There is no maybe. There's no dodging it. And it turned out, yes, he had made a deal with the matron. And Arthur...
He became an oath. We saw him do Oathbreaker magic.
He tried to call upon his horse, but it didn't happen. And Arthur plunged his...
my ice brand,
frost brand
that I had requested hard for and nearly died obtaining.
Yep.
I plunged it into his heart, and that was Arthur's mental break moment, where he then just said, look, Wynn, I'm leaving. You can come if you like. And they both left.
Yeah, so we lost 3 characters in that one combat, basically. So that was, I think...
Best moment of Dungeons & Dragons I've ever had.
Now, Alyssa, this is the first of our Norwegian friends' characters that we're talking about. Anyway, I think...
I would put up here, to be honest. I would say just below Ellis, maybe?
I would say yes. Yeah, because... Maybe below Ellis, because... I think Ellis had more impact roleplay-wise.
Yep.
Alyssa... This character, the person who plays is always very good at he's very much a rules lawyer. He's very much he understands his class. He min-maxes to an extent. This isn't a min-max character, but this, you gotta remember, this player almost never really role played. Most of his other characters were he would just do some silly thing in the corner while everyone else is role playing, right? But Alyssa, for some reason, for the first time, he proper got into the character was actually surprising me with the role play that he was doing. And even to this day, he still does things with the character role play wise. Like, for example, the last session, he said, we know that after Mildred blew up and mystics, which are arcane users in my world, like mages,
got blamed.
People don't trust them anyway because of historical things. And he goes, I want me and the other NPC mystics to go around town and help people after the battle to improve our reputation. And that's the sort of thing he comes up with. And it's very good.
Incredibly good. I think this is probably the best character that he's ever played. Kudos to him.
I think so. Yeah, 100%.
I would say D for Doother.
I don't think he's D, and the reason why is because he did play the character. He was a bit of an awkward character.
This is a half elf druid, another one of baby DMs. Alyssa was a human wizard.
This was his replacement for Ellis, and he was a druid, so he fit the theme. He understood the assignment. He's a druid in the swamp. He had connections with the NPCs. He role played the character well. Yes, he was a little bit dismissive of people at start, but he role played the character. And to be fair, there was some of those dungeons, Jack, where you were half asleep. He was carrying the roleplay. Him and Alyssa,
in the druid dungeon, yeah,
especially him and Alyssa were carrying the dungeons.
The thing with the druid dungeon is I kind of took a step back because it was his dungeon.
But yeah, that's part of it. But then, it was the mage and it was the druid that were really doing a lot of heavy lifting. I don't think
I don't think he's A. I don't think he's as good as Shaemus.
He's better than Raiden.
I think perhaps just above Myrdin.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. Yeah, right in the middle. Yeah, that's good. But the thing that let him down was his. I mean, to be fair, at the end, that wasn't really his fault. He was just being. He was being
himself.
He was like, "Oh, I see this thing is obvious."
This druid was recently disintegrated.
Yeah, he ran into a 2 disintegrates.
And he should have ran after the first. Maeve. Maeve is a very solid C.
I think so. Or yeah,
I would say that.
Because Maeve hasn't really had time to shine. I have plans for her.
Yeah, she's yet to have a moment that is.
She's a winter character in a swamp campaign.
She is my wife's current character in Chris's campaign. But she the thing with my wife, she does combat. Like she just gets combat. Like she bonks. She likes numbers. She kills things. So yeah, that's so far that is what Maeve has done. She's got a life debt to my current character who's next, and she's just following around, keeping him safe.
Yep, perfectly fair. Baldur.
Again, what am I? So we let you decide.
Current character.
Well, I will say this is an Aasimar Paladin. He is actually a remake of my first ever Dungeons and Dragons character from probably 2007, 2008. Who was a human paladin.
I think this is a weird one because he started out, he joined at a really awkward point because this is why I've always said the one thing I didn't like about Arthur and Wynn leaving is I've always said I don't want people to switch characters mid-arc because it's, unless you die, obviously, because it makes it really awkward. And I think we definitely felt that with Baldur and Maeve coming in.
Yeah.
Because it did throw things for a loop.
Yep.
Completely. Then he didn't do a lot at first because we were doing Doofus story. Now since Mildred's death,
to be fair to Baldur as well, he wanted to go south for like real life months to go to a particular location, and he always put that off for what was happening at the time.
Yeah. Now I would say he had his moment in the chapel that he was going south to, and then ever since Mildred's death, he's picking up. He's on a very fast upward trajectory as a good character. He's obviously going to surpass Ellis at some point because you're on that trajectory, but I don't know if he has yet.
Are we talking
A or B? I would say put him in A for now, but he's gonna end up as S. I put him top of A because he's still very much he is a leader character. You're playing him extremely well. He's taking charge. He's doing things.
I think that happens a lot with me in your campaigns is I end up leading the group.
Well,
At the start of this campaign, I said I'm not, because I'd basically become the leader of the last two groups. I'm not instigating this campaign, and for a while it worked until it didn't.
Yeah, but this character is becoming like Arthur. He just hasn't had the time to have an arc like Ellis, like Arthur, like even Alyssa to an extent. So yeah, I think top of A is good.
But now that he's waging war against the hags, he's become the angel of hope for Kingsport.
He's definitely fulfilling his role. Now Hrothgar,
really good character.
My brother's character. This is his Winter. His only one. He died early, end of Act 1, and then left the campaign. But he is one of his best characters, if not, he might be his best.
Just for the sake of the video, this is a barbarian, basically the equivalent of the Goliath barbarian.
Yeah, I have my own homebrew things, but he's essentially like a Goliath barbarian, that big grey dude with an axe. And my brother plays these sorts of characters very well. He's very similar to Hannah. Not a massive amount of out of combat roleplay. He did a little bit, but he is very much an in combat roleplayer, and he does roleplay in combat well. He describes his character doing things. He gets into it. I think Hrothgar is an A-tier character.
Agreed. I wouldn't say he was good as Tirnaal in that though.
He's obviously going to be below Mildred's. Mildred's like he's the benchmark, I think, for that. Because Mildred has to have more time to flesh out than Hrothgar did.
Yeah.
But he was and he had amazing moments where he was sacrificing himself to save the party. He saved so many people.
I'll be honest. The thing that makes me put him at the bottom of A is his best moment came at the expense of him completely, like Wayne, completely forgot his backstory. And you said the name of the people that slaughtered his entire sort of clan, and he's like, I kind of nudge him because I pay attention to things, toot my own horn. Oi, it's you.
Yeah, he had this moment there that I mentioned, they name dropped his villain, the guy that was responsible for massacring his old party in his backstory. Name dropped it, wasn't paying attention at all. Jack brought it up, but then after that, he chased him down. He 1v1'd this villain who was designed to be like a dungeon boss, mind you. He was meant for the whole group to take on, and it was
very
close.
Good rolls. Very good rolls.
Close, but he managed to, with like 1 HP remaining, defeat this guy out in the forest, and that was a phenomenal. And I thought that was such a good moment. I gave him a level up there and then. He was the first person to overtake the rest of the group in levels because of that moment.
It was an incredibly good moment. It's just the only thing that lets it down is I had to nudge him. That's it.
Yeah, Marathi it's another one of Dan's characters. So this is going on into my campaign 2. So we're going back a campaign.
Yeah,
we finished with my current campaign I'm running now. This is now Faer'frae Isles. So this is one I ran a couple of years ago. Marathi was Dan's character, the barbarian. But this was a half-orc ranger who covered her face up, so at the very least didn't know she was a half-orc most of the time. I think Marathi was a solid B tier, better than Duther, maybe about the same as Whistler, because again, this player is very good at in-combat roleplay, not so much out of combat, and I think he performed really well. He was the second highest damaging person in the group.
Right in the middle of B.
He was a clutch member many times. He clutched that T-Rex fight where Flendel died because he was using his.
And he also Rambo'd the entire camp. He went full on jungle mode, stalker, solid snake for a bit. It was great.
Yeah, and he was really good at that. So I think I'd put him there.
Yeah, solid B. The only issue is again there were times where just paying attention or.
There was one moment with giants because he hated giants specifically, and there was a moment where we were clearly like allying with a giant and he just opened fire.
Yeah, and it was Ethlendil allying as well because Ethlendil had my character didn't like orcs. He was only just beginning to accept Marathi, and then Marathi did that, and that just kind of set everything back, which caused a lot more issues later down the line. We'll get into that. Broke.
Now this is the first character of famous YouTuber Day by Dave.
Oh, we're calling him out by name, are we? Famous YouTuber Day by Dave was
Dave
in our
is
group.
Funny enough, and obviously our audiences do not cross over, but Dave, big YouTuber.
You've known him your entire life.
I have known the guy my entire life.
Literally from the moment you were born.
Literally, our parents were good friends. His D&D, he's very meme. I think he works well in like if he was playing in a meme campaign.
He was in the Bravo Company.
He's very good at the memes. He has a soundboard, there's voice changes and all that type of thing. But in terms of just fitting in with a group and taking the game seriously, no. Broke, however, was his least offensive character.
That's how I was going to put it.
Out of the Faer'frae Isles lot, I would say he's in C.
Honestly, no. I think Barry was better than Broke.
I don't know. We'll get to that, but I think Broke is a C tier.
To be honest, I'm looking at Dan's monk from my campaign and thinking I should probably put him bottom of D now.
But he had one session, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, very fickle fan there. The reason I would not put this guy above Broke, he was an okay character concept. He was annoying because he was squeaky voice, and again, voice changer. He did a lot of that. He was a bard that drew pictures of things, and this came in very, very important because the way this character died was extremely immersion breaking. He just walked up to the dungeon boss, went, "I'm tired of this character, please kill me." And Jack was there with his druid trying to heal him, trying to keep him healed over and over again. Which, bear in mind, do we even have a Flendel on this list?
Yeah, he's there.
Trying to heal him over and over again.
He was. I'm sure he was. Yeah, there he is, down there.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Yeah, move him up. So Jack was trying to heal him as a druid, but he was there, but please kill me, please kill me. So he dies, right? And because of how immersion breaking that was, I had to retcon it later with a false Hydra by saying you guys thought he died to that dungeon boss 2 years ago, but actually he just died to the false Hydra right now. And it was I had to retcon it in. And this next character, Ruin, was another one of Dave's characters, his first character in this campaign. He was just Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. I am Groot,
Ruin.
But it was I am Ruin.
With a voice changer.
He was a robot. He was okay. He was a funny, like, NPC practically.
It wore thin very quickly.
He was very, he would just go around like completely fearlessly wading into bandits, just hacking them down and all that type of thing. Impossible to do roleplay with, impossible to do story with, because he was I am Ruin.
Thankfully, he charged into his death.
I am Ruin. And then he did exactly like Barry Ficklehamber. He ran straight at the BBG.
There's a few characters on this list that just charged into their death, isn't it?
I also retconned him with the false Hydra by gaslighting the party into thinking that they had a tank called Rune. And the funny thing is there was one moment at the beginning of the campaign where Ruin took a human form. I used that artwork and said, you had a fighter called Rune who's been traveling with you this entire time, but you forgot him because he died to this false Hydra you were just fighting.
I'm going to have to put him down in D tier because he was retconned.
I mean, technically, it wasn't fully retconned, but yeah, he was... You couldn't roleplay with him.
I think he's probably better than Junior.
Because he was just, I am Ruin.
Tatiana?
Oh, I'm sorry, Joss, but this was a complete disaster. We were mentioning this with Catkin before. Go like hover over Catkin so people remember.
She's in D tier by Pipwick.
Same. These two characters were being played at the same time, right? So this was a few years ago. And obviously, as we said with that player, work got in the way. He became tired. And he had a moment with this character where everyone leveled up to level 6, I think it was. And he went, what do you mean we're level 6? He was still level 3.
Mm-hmm.
He was so out of the loop and so not paying attention that he missed 3 level ups in a campaign where they were pretty rare.
It's a shame because Tatiana, when he actually had energy, and again, I don't blame him for this because he was just dead the entire time. When he actually had energy, he was quite interesting with her. It started off strong, was one of the only original party members left by the end of it. It's just a real shame. I am going to put him all the way down just for the fact that
I F's a wheel because the character had the backstory of this character was she was basically a Santa's elf. She was enslaved by barbarian Santa, who I called Santhea the Coalbringer. And he was in this Arctic northern land, and she was making machines. And I even tied her in by saying that her people made Ruin, the Warforged. She came from the same place, and there was going to be this really her backstory was actually going to be huge for the story later on.
The reason this is his second character, I believe.
Yeah.
So the reason I would say FFF is because, again, he ignored my advice of playing a simpler class. This is an artificer.
Yeah,
no artificer.
Did not have a clue.
And it was just crossbow bolt, crossbow bolt, crossbow bolt, and he would only do one at a time, even though he could do 2. Again, didn't level up. Really a shame because the character, like the way the F Lendl particularly became protective over Tatiana. I I like the character. Unfortunately, the performance was
he
just
had
not
this
there.
strange moment as well where he had a hammer in his art, so I let him start with a hammer to say that's his tool hammer, and he kind of thought I was trying to force him to become melee. But like he wanted like a repeating crossbow, and he wanted to make and invent things. Never gave me ideas.
The thing again, I don't blame him at all because he was working all hours. He was just dead. And again, eventually he decided to leave the hobby, not leave the hobby, but he stopped any online play because he just, when he was sat at his computer, he just fell asleep. Which I don't blame him at all. Yeah. This was not his finest, which is a real shame because I liked Tatiana as a character.
Now this one would be not Nima, it'd be Adira, right? So Adira, Dan character, his first one of this campaign, was a Triton fighter with a trident, very thematic, serving a water elemental called Rain. Honestly, I think Adira was a B tier character. She was not maybe as good as Meraki, because Meraki...
I think Nima was a better character.
Yeah,
I would actually be putting Nima in the high Bs.
I put it below Meraki because very much this was a Dan character. It was but she did have very good moments in roleplay.
I would say just below Whistler.
She had a very cool moment where she was using her powers to get people in underneath the bandit fort that you were laying siege to through the sewers.
Oh no, I wasn't there.
No, you were there. Yeah.
I remember that bit.
But I think it was this character that also released the Death Knight alongside.
Oh, immediate F tier then.
But this character, the problem is with it, the thing that holds this character back is the way she died, because she's a very promising character, extremely promising, especially for like water themed stuff. But she saw a black dragon and she didn't like. I can't remember what her connection to the black dragon was. It was something.
But yeah, she decided to charge the black dragon at level 2. The black
dragon was behind the Death Knight's army. And she decided at level 3 it might have been, to charge through a Death Knight's army to get to that black dragon without any survival instinct at all, and just got annihilated.
Yeah. Should have seen it coming. I think we do. This is just F. This is another Day by Dave character.
The biggest meme. He literally said to me, "Oh, but there's an actual story behind him, and that's his clan was attacked by a black dragon." And he got name Butthead carved into his head because he abandoned his post. And the problem with this is I said, right, you're playing an orc, a full orc. There is one good orc clan in this entire continent.
Plus, the existing party doesn't like orcs.
The one member of the existing party doesn't like
orcs. It's the one thing I said.
Everyone else was fine. But I said, if you're going to play an orc, play as a Blacktooth clan orc. Those are the one good orc clan that are at least honorable, right, and can act and are actually allies with the party because they oppose the war chief. And he goes, "No, I'm making my own clan," and he's called Butthead. And then at times, I even had moments where I said, "Right, you're going to have to disguise yourself going into town because you're not a Blacktooth orc, and this kingdom is at war with orcs right now. They are literally at war with the orcs."
And then he took his guys off.
He literally, like an NPC that was telling him this, he just said, "You are dumb, you are stupid." And he walks up to the guards, full orc, going, "Ha, be Butthead."
Should have died
and then the T-Rex incident. There's
too much to go through. The thing is, Butthead was obviously a meme, and we should have let him stay dead. We wasted a bloody resurrection on him. Anyway, next character, Uzi, sorcerer, slime girl. Honestly, I really like Uzi.
I think Uzi had an emotional moment because she was one of the original party when a lot of people were dying off. She was the only one that finished her story arc. Because the thing I did with her is she and these two other sentient slimes were actually spawns of, I think it was the Elder Eye, the Ooze God, right? And they were all competing. You had one guy who was going around. He was quite a friendly, chill dude. Slick, and he had these two little slime dudes, and they were like relying on him, following him around. And then you had Uzi, who was very much a free soul, and she just stowed away on the ship at the start of the campaign. And then you had her villain, Huanda, who was this pink slime, and he was very much we should turn everything into slimes. And for ages in the campaign, she kept finding him in the sewers of the town, turning like gnolls and goblins into slimes. And she kept going, can you stop doing that, please? And he's like, no, we must turn everything into slime. And anyway, he turns out to be a BBG. Shu defeats him, defeats this big old fucking slime demigod, becomes the slime king. It's all very mean, but at the same time, you had a sad moment with Slick going, no, I will do it, I will. And then she stayed behind, she sacrificed herself by becoming the new slime king.
B tier? A tier?
I think A tier, yeah. I think they're perfectly right there.
Below Hrothgar. I think the only thing is, and I get that we'll just continue to call him our Norwegian player, Norwegian friend. I get he likes monstrous races. I don't, and that's kind of the only thing that lets Uzi down for me. Other than that, I think she is a fantastic character. I think she was played really well.
This character was, look, she had a story, she had a backstory, but this was one of the examples of
memes.
It was not that big of a meme. She was memes, but very hard to write a backstory for.
Yeah,
I wasn't given a lot with this character. It was very much just that she exists.
I think this goes down with Pipwick. This is the dude. He is a Harengon wizard artificer.
He just smoked.
He was a
substances. He was a complete.
This is another one of Sean's.
And Sean did literally admit he made that character for the same reason he made some of the memes in your game.
Pipwick was the same.
I killed off his old character and he was mad, so he made a meme.
Have you noticed that most of Sean's characters are pink?
Yes. Yeah.
Escher
was
Snake Lady, like a 1T samurai. I
felt sorry for this character because this was Uzi's replacement, and this was just after Uzi sacrificed herself, and the player brought this character in. She was a Snake Lady samurai, had really good stories, really good connection to the Asia-themed continent in this world. And then 2 sessions later, the campaign ended.
Yeah, so we did an entire mini thing.
We did a little mini thing, like an intermission campaign. It was like 10 sessions long, where we at least had this character going around the city in that world, liberating it from this dark samurai clan and these yokai that were taking over. It was a meme campaign.
It was fun.
But it was fun, I think, B tier.
I would not. I would say just above Duther.
100%.
Just above Duther, just below Duther?
No, I think. The thing is, the player didn't have enough time to flesh the character out.
I would say because of that, just below, definitely above.
100% above. Yeah.
Stavrak, dwarf barbarian. My wife's first dwarf barbarian.
You're not the first character, but first character in my games. Stavrak was a weird one because Stavrak was very much like Maeve. There wasn't a lot of roleplay other than the occasional quip, which is very much like Maeve, very much like Wynn. The problem with Stavrak is, yes, he was bonk and he was extremely powerful, but he was so powerful that he is actually like there's a new.
This is why you banned Bear Totem.
This is where I banned Bear Totem, but this character completely changed my philosophy on DMing in total because this character was so powerful as a Bear Totem barbarian, right, that it was unfair to the rest of the group. There were fights where you would roll initiative and all it was just stack buffs on Stavrak and let him solo the fight.
Yeah. Can we flash up the free hugs art that we've got of him? Because it's not on this token.
Oh yeah, but it was based off of the character, the player's dad.
Yeah, who's diabetic, and when he got low blood sugar, he got angry.
I liked the theme. I worshipped a lava bear. To
be honest,
nice.
if the characters had that much impact on your entire way of DMing, I would say Stavrak needs to go quite high.
Yeah, but it's a bad impact. It's not because of the character, though, to be fair. It was more the class. I would say Stavrak is not A tier. I would say he's above Wynn. How about B tier?
I wouldn't say above Brulgir or Phyrra though, or Shaemus.
Oh, that's a good point. But then again,
I'd say above
Brulgir and Phyrra. Yeah, I'd say okay. Put it.
Oh yeah, I'd say Wynn would be. Yeah, she had
because Stanford was just bonk, but he was the class and 5e just made him so insanely strong.
Yeah. Plus the dual wielding. Whoa.
The dual wield, it was immense.
Plus he found some incredibly strong equipment. Here we go. Mildred II Besparkle the second.
So this was the Fader Isles. Yeah, this was the second edition of Mildred. He was only in the first arc. He died when Adira died to the same Death Knight army. Just charged.
He was drinking. He was drunk as the player was drunk.
Yeah,
and he went into the Death Knight and died.
But Mildred, this was the first time Mildred worked as a character because we had a bandit theme where these bandits actually turned out they were all former adventurers, all expeditions, like the player characters, and then they found out the truth of why they'd been sent to the island and rebelled.
Yep.
And nobody really paid attention to that and just slaughtered them anyway. But he was playing both sides. He was doing these deals behind the scenes and off screen, so between sessions, where he was actually doing.
I remember sending my familiar to follow him.
Yeah, he was doing these smuggling deals between the Red Rook bandits and the Aldercost military and things like that, and it was really good. The problem is he just waltzed into a Death Knight.
Yeah. I would say probably not the best Mildred, definitely not the worst. I would probably say
because he was very similar to the Mildred III.
I'd say probably better than Whistler,
but he didn't have time. Yeah, better than Whistler. He didn't have time to flesh out because he walked into a Death Knight.
I'd say here.
This is the one that got Whomping Willowed.
Yeah.
He technically would have died much earlier, but I retconned it because it was a bit unfair. But I had a tree surrounded by dead ogres, and he decides to walk up to it and kick it.
And then he died. Well. The Femboy Elf, my character, Ethlendil. Circle of Stars Druid.
Arthur was a better Ethlendil because Ethlendil was kind of like the prototype of I'm the leader, you do what I say. He was very spoilt. He was a prince of the elves.
Yeah.
Very connected to the story, extremely connected to the story, actually.
Still alive, too.
But his racism for orcs and some of his more I'm a prince, do what I say kind of attitude got the party in so much trouble that this was the first campaign. I mean, it was only my second campaign I ran, but it was the first campaign Ibris ran where the villain won.
I apologize for nothing.
But technically, it wasn't Ethlendil's direct fault because the villain
wasn't there. He didn't know.
The villain won because these guys had saved the city, and Ethlendil was very much playing up for we are the heroes, we're the saviors. He's going around
the
growing
artwork on.
Yeah, we got that. Yeah, he's growing food in the town, but the town was attacked by an undead army and an ogre king and all that type of thing. Right? And the undead army was led by the Death Knight that killed Mildred and Adira. But who released the Death Knight? It was Uzi and Adira, I believe. And these were parts of Ethlendil's party. The same people now going around lauding themselves as heroes.
I missed one session
for saving the town, and
Ethlendil got brought
into the office of the BBEG, and he said, and the only reason they found this out is because there was a half-orc NPC that Ethlendil was so extremely racist against because he hated orcs that he refused to ever hear him out. And this half-orc NPC just went to the BBEG and said, by the way, those heroes are the same guys that caused the invasion.
I want to say, again, I apologize for nothing. There is no such thing as a good orc. Look, I played the character, and I may have known what they did. Ethlendil didn't know about the Death Knight being the party's fault until that moment in the office with the BBEG.
So yeah, there was like a double moment. So if you move against me, I will reveal this to the town. And Ethlendil goes, well, I didn't even know this, so I'm just going to leave. And then that was it. It was and that's where we went into Ash's resistance.
Yeah, I mean, which is really because Eth was in Ethlendil's mind, he was doing the right thing. Like he had a sense of right, wrong, justice, and it was actually his connection to the Elven embassy in the city that enabled the party to be safe. So I really liked Ethlendil. I would not play him any differently. One of my favorite
He was a good character. He's not S tier.
No, fair enough.
He's obviously, look, we can't put him below Uzi because I feel like obviously he was the main character of that.
I was the one keeping tabs on everything as Ethlendil.
As a player and a character, Ethlendil carried the whole campaign. But also ended it. He carried it off a cliff.
Are we saying up here somewhere then?
I would say below Baldur.
Yeah.
Yeah, around there. That's fine.
Yeah. I do think below Kitty, only because Kitty had more emotional impact.
Yeah, that's fair. Right.
Escher's Resistance.
Yeah, so Escher's Resistance. I know we had Escher before in the other.
Yeah.
So Escher's Resistance was the intermission campaign after that one we just finished.
Mm-hmm.
Because I felt sorry for Escher, the Snake Lady, we just went over. Elizabeth Krupp was Sean's character. She was a artificer sniper with a spider companion that acted as a tripod for her sniper.
And she was very German.
And she was very German accent. Meme character. It was fun. It wasn't a bad meme. She was funny. C tier.
Should we just put it with his? There's nothing actually of Sean in C tier. He's done quite well. He's got a few in D. I would say probably above Thorn, below Daikan.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
General
Actually, not a bad character for what he was. This is again just as my wife's character, human fighter, murdered family in the siege.
He was funnily enough the straight man of the this party. He was the only non-meme.
Yeah. And for that, I think he deserves to be as high as we can get him.
I think higher than Maeve, lower than Stavrak.
So we say just top of C.
Yeah, because again, didn't have time to flesh out the character.
No, he was human fight, white male human fighter, longsword shield, time to game. That was what he was.
Now Delft Two, this is not in this, so move him over.
He was Lichbane. All right, so you can go there then.
Right, so this was yours, Adrissa.
I'm going to be honest. Immediate D tier.
Yep, fair enough.
This was me saying, look, there's only a short campaign. I will never get the chance to play a wild magic sorcerer again, so I'm going to play a wild magic sorcerer.
Yeah,
that was it.
That's fair. D tier.
I would actually put him. Like she was a short miniskirt wearing honestly below Catkin. I'm not going to go below Ruin.
Fair enough.
But not my best work.
Speaking of Ruin, this is now the Lichbane campaign. The first campaign I ran. This was my what the fuck the Reprobates. That's what you called yours.
Yeah. Well, you called it the Reprobates. Actually, you voted on the name.
Well, Wayne did. Now
you all voted for it. It was nearly unanimous.
Delft Two was a Warforged made by the same guy who played as Tatiana and Thorn, the guy who fell asleep half the sessions. This was only a one shot. So it was only one session. And to be fair, for a Warforged, he had a really unique gimmick. He was a rogue, and he was made out of porcelain china. I'll try and get the art on the screen if I can find the art he used. And his whole thing was he would go invisible as a rogue with reflective panels. Almost like a predator type of thing. It was a unique concept for a character. Obviously, he didn't do anything. It was a one shot. He was practically an NPC. I'd say put him in C tier, but it wasn't his worst character. It was a unique idea. I liked the idea.
Not enough time to shine.
It was fine. It was a one shot. He wasn't half asleep when playing him. Danny.
Dan. Yeah, this is your brother's character, but just a female version of him, isn't it?
Yeah, because his name's Dan. This is the first character he made. She was a bard pirate, half elf.
She was pretty good too.
And to be honest, this character was really, really good. He played the character well. She ended up going on this whole arc where they did this pirate ship heist, and they managed to capture the most powerful pirate ship on the sea, the Kraken's Reach, which ended up being the guild's base and is still around to this day. Much later. She had cool pistols where she'd dual wield them and do
screaming
fan the
pistols.
hammer.
Yeah.
it was genuinely good character. Then she died, I think, to the blue dragons.
No, she died to a fairy dragon biting her throat out.
Oh yeah, that was it. I can't even remember why you were fighting fairy dragons, but she came back eventually at the end. She's still alive to this day. But that was a good character. I would say solid B.
Solid
B.
B.
Above Meraki.
Yeah, that's basically where most of Dave's stuff's going to be going, I think.
Yeah. Now, Azula. This was Vixenae's one-shot, like Delft Two, of the Lichbane.
Technically, this was her first ever Dungeons and Dragons character, this tiefling wizard. She only played it for a couple sessions in like a tutorial-esque thing where we were trying to learn the system together.
Oh yeah, fair. But yeah, this character, she wasn't in the Lichbane campaign, and neither was the Delft Two player.
Mm-hmm.
But so this was her one shot.
But she is now an impactful character for you.
Didn't do a lot. She was an NPC, but she was fit in the lore. She's a level 20 wizard, so she is like the archmage of her own order, and will be coming back into things as an NPC in a later campaign. I think better than Delft 2, but like Jeanette, just put it next to Gerald because it was a character that didn't. Maybe not. Actually, no, she's not above Maeve. I don't know why.
I'll put down it. I'll put down it.
Put Maeve above Gerald as well. I don't know why we're putting Gerald above Maeve. Because Maeve's actually at least lasting.
Yeah,
that's fine. Now, Revirus.
Saint Revirus, thank you very much.
This character was at the time Dan's S tier character.
Tiefling Paladin.
Would I put him in S? He is better than Hrothgar.
You do need to flash up the comic sequence of Jazari and Revirus working together to take down an invisible dragon, and then Jazari watching him die.
Yeah. Now, this character had good bonds. He started out as an Oathbreaker because this character was the character he replaced Dany with after Dany died, and this character was Dany's lover, I believe. And he became an Oathbreaker because he abandoned his temple to avenge Dany, and he managed to do that. But over the course of the campaign, he went back to his god. He sought forgiveness, and he became Revirus the Redeemed.
The redemption, baby.
This guy was an absolute tank. 28 AC, phenomenal. Like Dan played him really, really well, extremely well. I think he's definitely his best character. S tier, yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah.
And Revirus, in fact, he's so impactful that he was an NPC in a Faer'frae Isles, which, to be fair, they didn't interact with a lot. But this guy his presence is like a god showing up. Right?
And also, there are statues of him in the current Will of Winter campaign.
There's statue of this guy. I added him into my current campaign, which is a completely separate world. But I added this guy in as a saint. He's one of the 12 saints, the Saint of Redemption. And in the world that he was in, he, like when we did the one shot, this guy is so fucking strong that his introduction was him walking along, and because he's got a belt of storm giant strength, so he's as strong as a storm giant. And there was an airship that was about to take off, and he walks up to the airship and grabs it and stops it from taking off.
The thing with Revirus as well, we need to mention, is he was so impactful as a friend to the rest of the party. He's just role played so well. We used a scroll of wish to truly resurrect him back after he was disintegrated.
That's the point. There is one character missing off this list, but we'll go over it now, and that is our Norwegian friend's paladin from this same campaign. His first character.
Brazzara! Oh, bloody hell, yeah!
For now, I'd say Brazzara B, fine, because Brazzara, he flip-flopped between that character and this next character we're about to do.
May as well go on to that one.
Brazzara got killed by the same dragon Revirus did. I felt sorry for Brazzara because they only had one wish. They could only bring back one, and they brought back Revirus, not Brazzara. It was a shame because Brazzara went down here. She was doing completely fine. Found out about where some holy sword is that's guarded by a load of drow, because she was a drow. That was the one thing that held Brazzara back. She was a drow paladin with darkness.
Yeah.
But she went running off to find it, and that was where the campaign went to shit. They were on such a high, and it wasn't Brazzara's fault. But they went with Brazzara, and this was where they got ambushed by like the liches,
the jesters,
like main army, ran into his top lieutenants, and it fucking went to
Yeah.
But
sometimes the dice giveth, sometimes the dice taketh away.
So Brazzara, I would put in B. Just, Anyway.
Nero is probably going up in A.
Nera, I'd say A. Very, very good character. Not the backstory was a bit, didn't make a lot of sense, but she was the daughter of a vampire lord.
Vampire.
She was, we used like the Lady Maria from Bloodborne, and she basically was Lady Maria from Bloodborne.
She was a Dampier cleric, ranger, rogue. Just really, really complicated.
Really complicated, but she was extremely, extremely powerful.
She had a very, very good relationship with my character, which is why I like.
Very good relationship because she was a stealthy. She had like really high wisdom. She was the only character that could spot your rogue.
Yeah, the only person in existence.
She had.
Yeah,
but at the same time, she had a pretty good story conclusion with taking out her father in her old manor and reclaiming the manor as her own and getting her own guards, which these cat girls with muskets.
The maids,
Either way, though, like very, very good role play there. And I think that was probably the first time.
This is our Norwegian friend's character.
The Norwegian, this guy did some like good role play. I
remember dancing, like Jazari and this character Nera dancing together after they retook the manor. That was to the Under a Violet Moon.
Yes.
That song, that still sticks with me.
That was really good. And I think and also after that, this character has a similar sort of presence, but a much darker one. It's like she is the opposite to Revera. So Revera shows up and it's like an angel has just come from the heavens. She shows up and is like, a
saint
prince.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
next. Nima.
So same artwork as Adira. The reason why we had Adira using the same artwork is because this was Dan's last character in that campaign, and then Adira was his first character in the second campaign, and he just paid loads of money to Shan for this art. So I'm just going to
which is really good art, by the way.
But those two characters were sisters, and Nima was the older sister. She was a Tempest cleric, very powerful. She worked alongside your character really well in the end.
I think she followed Jazari into Thay at the end.
Yeah, in the end, like after the epilogue of the story, she went off into Thay to hunt down liches with Jazari. She was a good character, but she wasn't as good as Reverus. She's obviously better than Dira. I think A tier, bottom of A.
Fair.
Because she was a cool character, very powerful, very good presence, but
just max damage lightning bolts.
She wasn't around. She wasn't around a lot.
Sibo, day by day, gnome wizard.
Now there was some red flags showing. This is a very day by day character, but this was the best character he's ever done. And I don't think Sibo was that bad. I liked Sibo.
I like Sibo.
In fact, there was some really cool roleplay Dave did with Sibo before you joined the campaign. When my friend that I had to kick out of the group was still
we've not got that character on here.
But he doesn't count. But anyway, F, yeah. So they were going to this goblin hideout, and Sibo's backstory, though for some reason he decided to keep it from the DM until it became relevant, was that he hated goblins. And he never explained why, but it turned out it's because goblins destroyed his village. Fair enough. And there was this scene where the party were interrogating a goblin in a camp, got the information they needed, and they let him go. Sibo said, I'm going to escort him outside to make sure he doesn't do anything funny. And when the group wasn't looking, killed the goblin.
Didn't like goblins.
The reason why this was such a good moment is because that same session, the guy I had to kick out of the party, they interrogated another goblin, and the guy walked up to the guy as they were interrogating the goblin, killed the goblin before they got answers, and then when questioned, he goes, I just love killing innocent creatures.
It wasn't innocent, it was a goblin.
So the contrast was huge. Sibo was a solid character.
Yeah.
He played him like shit in the end because he kept casting Firebolt on the BBEG.
While he was level 17 or something.
And immune to fire.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was that. But he was a powerful character. He had his relationship with the gold dragons. I think he dropped off in the end.
Low B.
I think Dave definitely was like getting bored. Me, I'd say B. Yeah. I'd say.
I would definitely not as good as Mildred or Danny or Meraki. I'd say probably around about the same effort level as Duther, to be honest.
He's slightly, I'd say he's above Duther. He is above Duther.
Yeah, the impact that Sibo has on the story to this day is what carries him, not his player.
Yeah,
Sorry,
he's very much our Morden kind of. He's got spells named after him.
Ali, solid C.
Ali was our Norwegian characters. He had lots of characters this campaign. He was flopping for them. At one point, he had like 3 on the go. But Ali was a fairy. She was a bit of a meme, bit funny. She was an archfey fairy with Eldritch Blast, and she had the knockback ability, but she also had like the 300-foot range on it.
She was an artillery piece.
And she could do like 15 fucking Eldritch Blasts or whatever. She'd knock people like a mile away. The thing I liked about Ali was the one-shot.
Yeah.
Because in the actual campaign, didn't do a lot. But the one-shot was funny because Ali did true polymorph into a green dragon, stayed in that form long enough to where she's now actually a green dragon that can polymorph into a fairy. So she...
Bottom of B?
I don't know about bot. She's not worse than fucking Micro. No way.
I mean, is she top of C?
No, you're putting her even lower. Now put her next to Escher.
Fair. I'd probably say above Escher.
That's what I mean. Like, she's not below.
She didn't have enough time to be. All right, next character is Artificer, Wizard, Barbarian.
Sean's
first character in your campaigns.
So this guy was funny. He was a meme, but he was funny. He was a bugbear warrior. He had 13 intelligence. So for a bugbear, that was really smart. And we just leaned into this professor role where he was like this wizened sage of a bugbear.
Didn't we give him a headband of intellect?
We gave him a headband of intellect. He had a halberd of this blue dragon that we slew that had massive reach, plus his bugbear reach. So I think he had about 20-foot reach with his attacks. And he was a fighter. So by the end, he was attacking like 6 times per round. He was insane. But also,
this is where the butthead strategy came from too.
Because of the whole like intellectual thing, he was building robots, and towards the end, especially in the one shot, he has now got a droid army and like orbital fucking satellite cannons.
Stupid. Stupid.
It's leaning into the stupidity. He's like, and again, everyone else, they're all level 20, they've become gods in their own right. He is a machine god. He is like a Warhammer 40k.
He is Primus on the material plane.
Like that sort. Yeah, he's very much a psyker. Not a psyker, what they call
but
it.
In a ranking, mechanics. Where are we actually going to put him? Because remember, Sean was in and out of the campaign a lot because he was traveling.
Yeah, the character did fuck all. He's in a B. But he had.
Should we put him with Big Momma?
He was so impactful that in Thader Isles, you had Tatiana, the Santa's elf, who her entire BBG and her backstory was based off of Big B. Yeah. Because his machines had made their way over to the new continent and they were trading in like futuristic arms and warfare.
God, these campaigns got very silly, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you're level 20. Right, the last character, and I think it's a suitable last character because I think this is the top of S.
Yeah? Should we say who she is?
This is Jack's magnum opus.
Never to be topped.
Arthur tried, and in some respects, Arthur surpassed Jazari.
In some.
But Jazari had such an arc, 0 to hero.
Oh, very much so. I think I started making her, and my introduction words were, I am going to just break your campaign and play a rogue.
The thing that made Jazari go from a B or an A tier character to an S tier character was Revirus's death.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was that moment that she went from being the Black Cat of Kalimshan to this pale white character who, because the stress of things, she nearly died. Literally, hair went grey, lost the eye, and then at that point, she had this cool speech with the survivors in the Pirate Grove with the Kraken's Reach and all that they were all hauled up in, where she took charge, and that was the first time in any of our campaigns where someone actually took the game seriously enough to have this epic grand speech about how they need to defeat the BBG, what they need to do, and how they need to work together and take this more seriously. Because they were sailing through up to this point They had one utter fuck up where Revirus, Brizara, Sibo as well.
I was the only survivor.
Sibo had different art before.
Sibo died before that encounter.
Yeah, and then he ended up with a new body thanks to the gold dragon. So he looks this more aged gnome, but he was completely different. He was actually a younger gnome before. So he died. And so, yeah, Jazari was the only survivor. And there was this very poignant moment where I had, on Roll20, I had all the characters lined up on the docks that left on that expedition. And then obviously put all the ones that died onto GM layer, and it was just Jazari left.
You're going to have to put that on screen now.
I can't find it. It's sad because it was a really good image, but I remember looking for it before, and I don't know where it's gone.
It'll be around on Discord.
I'll recreate it. But like
it was very I remember after all of this happened and going back, because Jazari had been she wasn't a meme character. I was actually playing her like a burglar. She was a thief, not an assassin. She had these little coins, which are actually staple magical items for both of us now. They just act as points of luck. The Black Cat coins, like, so the Black Cat of Kalim Shan was actually a serious rogue character, and she was a coward. She ran away from fights at the start. Brizara taught her how to be courageous. She had a falling out with Sibo because he got in the way of her criminal underworld elements. Then she had to help them escape when the blue dragons attacked, and she was a very naturally growing character. She came in with nothing. I came in halfway through the campaign. She came in with nothing, grew very slowly into a friend's relationship with the party, and became very intricately involved with the defeat of the BBEG at the end, because she just swore vengeance. Like, she finally found a family, and he killed that family. And she said, "Jazari shall be the end of you, Lich." And he laughed at her. And she is now, to this day, known as Jazari the Lichbane.
And that's where the Lichbane Campaign name comes from.
Yep. In fact, she spends most of her time in Thay. She's got the boon of immortality. And she just wanders around Thay. She doesn't fight the Liches. She just steals their phylacteries and destroys them.
Yeah. And I think looking at this list as final thoughts, everyone except Dave has managed to get at least an A tier character.
Yes.
At some point in this, right? Because we've got everyone's best characters. They're all up there. To be honest, Sibo there was some moments where he was very good. But yeah, you've got the S's. I've got an S. Even Baby DM's got S. Ellis was an S tier.
Yeah.
Our Norwegian friend, who barely ever role played before and usually made meme characters, has an S tier. Dan, who barely ever role played, usually made, well, not meme characters, but he usually made like edgelord characters, S tier.
Yeah.
Shan, very memey, S tier.
Yeah, there's another one of yours.
We both got two S tiers.
Hannah's got two.
Hannah's got
my wife.
Yeah, two. Yeah, she's got two. Yeah. So I think this shows like everyone we play with, and obviously like Sean's highest is Mildred. He's like, even though he's in the middle of A tier, he is a very good character. It's what you got.
Mildred is an incredibly good character. It's the only issue is Sean fell out of love with the system itself, and that affected the actual the way the character went.
Recency bias for this character. His last few months, or even the last year or so that he was in it, was not very good. But yeah, I think this is
unfortunately for Wayne, who is just mid. Sorry, Wayne.
At least he's not. Oh, actually, does he have an F tier? No, he doesn't.
No, he is just Wayne. He's granddad.
Yeah.
I think this is a very good list to say everyone can have a real smattering of good and bad characters.
Yeah, this is actually quite enlightening.
Yeah, it's like I will be honest. There's a few characters on here which Like, let's just quickly go through these. We'll go from the top to the bottom. So Butterhead is dead.
Yep.
Tatiana is alive somewhere.
Yes.
Mildred alive. Mildred I technically never died, alive somewhere.
Yep. Slizglag
Slizglag is dead, but soul is in Sorkara's ring. Hogan alive.
NPC.
Zhang alive. Junior alive. Ruin is dead. Idris is alive somewhere. Catkin is dead. Pipwick's dead. The dude is alive somewhere. Delft is alive. Azula's alive. Very Fickle Fanbear is dead. Broke is dead. Snake Eye is alive. Kane is alive. Thorn's alive. German lady, I don't remember.
Elizabeth Krupp.
Is alive. Daikan is he's dead. Karzag is doubly dead.
Yeah.
Wynn is alive. Raiden is dead. Gerald's alive. Maeve's alive. Big Momma is alive. Big B is a brain in a jar.
He's a brain in a jar, yeah.
Milo's alive. Myrdin is dead. Edge is alive. Ali is alive. Duther is recently deceased. Sable is alive. Sibo's alive.
Many times.
Currently alive. Adira, dead. Whistler is dead. Meraki is alive.
Yep.
Danny is currently alive. Mildred is dead. Mildred II, I should say, is dead. Stavrak is ascended to godhood. Didn't he become the lava bear?
He became the lava bear. Him and Flendor just went on and
they went. Yeah. Shaemus is alive somehow. Very lucky. Currently alive. Phyrra, Brulgir. Yeah, well, alive, but I had him as dead for the story, but still alive technically. Wynn alive. MIA alive.
Nima's alive. Yeah.
Godhood. We've got a few on here that godhood. Hrothgar is dead. Tirnaal is alive.
Yeah,
he did survive, didn't he? Curly's alive, thank Christ. Love that lovable little bastard. Look at him. Another dead Mildred.
There's 3 minutes. They're all gone.
Mildred III. No, the first one's still alive somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Nera is a demigod.
Yep.
Aren is sadly dead, but is seated at the right hand of his god. Ethlendil is alive. I think he's now the king of his people.
Something like that, yeah.
Kitty is alive. Baldur is currently alive. Sable's alive. Varic's alive. Talvor's alive. Revera's currently alive. Alyssa is obviously alive. Ellis is dead, sadly. I think he's the only dead S tier. And you got Faer'frae, who is currently alive. Sorkara is your current character. Arthur is retired. And Jazari is obviously immortal. So, alive. Honestly, man, look at the amount of characters that the two of us have dungeon mastered for in just 5 years.
I know. And some of these, bear in mind, some of these are very short-term characters.
But a lot of them are years
towards the bottom. The ones from B tier upwards are all quite long-lasting characters.
I really enjoyed doing this.
I did as well.